Hello viewers, in this video I'm going to show you how to create this animated responsive navigation bar in HTML, CSS and jQuery. So this is the final product of the tutorial. So when you are on a smaller screen you can access the navigation on this slide in and slide out menu. As you can see, it's nicely animating in and animating out. And when you're on a bigger screen, there is no navigation icon. On a smaller screen, the nav links and the nav bars appear, and the smaller the navigation icon comes in. Now, the jQuery code is going to be very tiny, and it's going to be very easy to, achieve this navigation and the animation. Welcome to Edge Concepts. My name is Luke. I will start by creating a folder that's going to contain my project files. So I'll head to my desktop and create a folder. I'm going to name it navigation. Then I'm going to drag this folder to a code editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code Editor. I'll drag it there. Then let me close this. I'll create a HTML file. I'm just going to call it index.html. I will create a CSS file. Call it style.css. Then I will create a JavaScript file. Let me call it navigate.js. Then I'm going to open this HTML with the VS Code Live server, so that every other time I save my project, the browser is going to respond to the changes. So there is my project running. So I'll head to HTML and create a document. Then I will call this navigation. Then the first thing I'm going to do is to create a container here. So I'm going to create a class of a container to house everything. Inside the container, I need the navigation on the top. So I'm going to create another class and call it navigation or a navbar. Let me make it short. Before that, I would like to create a drop-down menu that is going to show the navigation on a smaller screen. So I'm just going to call it a drop-down menu. Save that. Then let's start working on the navigation bar, the nav bar. So the first thing that I'll need in this nav bar is the logo. So let me create a class and call it logo. Then the other thing I will need is the nav links. I'm going to create another class and call it nav links. Then inside the navigation bar, I will also need an icon that is going to appear on a small screen to help me to open the drop down of the bigger navigation bar. So I'll create and give a class of menu icon. Let's save that. Then let me start working on the logo. For the logo, I'm just going to create a paragraph and a span. So the paragraph is going to contain the first section of my channel name, which is H. Then the span is going to contain the last section, which is concepts. Let's save that. Then for the nav links, I'm going to create an ordered list. Then inside an ordered list, I'm going to create a list. Then an anchor tag. For this project, we are not going to link to any external HTML file. So I'll give a hashtag to represent the href. Then the first nav link is the home. I'm going to copy this 3 times. Let me save it first. And let me close this section to have enough space. So I'm going to copy for the about section, and I'm going to copy for the contacts. So let me call this about, and these contacts. Let's save that. Yeah. So the next thing we are going to do is to populate the drop-down menu. So inside here we are going to have an ordered list as well. So instead of writing all again, I'm just going to copy this and paste here. Delete and copy. Save that. So our drop down menu is going to be on this side as it's seen in the introduction. So let's start working on the navigation bar first, then we shall work on the drop down menu. So I'm quickly going to link my CSS file. Just styleless CSS. Yeah. Then I'm also going to link the JavaScript file. Choose navigate.js. Save that. Then I'm going to go to my browser and look for the jQuery CDN. Just type jQuery CDN. Latest version is this one here. I'm going for the main file version. Copy all this. And then paste it there. Save. And paste anymore. Yeah, then let's do them, start doing the styling so that we can hide this first. So first we're going to remove the default padding, margin, and box sizing. So everything is going to have a padding of 0, a margin of 0, and box sizing of border box. Save that. Then I also need an image that is going to give me the background image. So you can just use any image as your background image in your project. After all, this video is all about creating a responsive navigation bar, which is animated or an animated responsive navigation bar. So the image that I'm going to use is this one here for my case. So you get an image for your project if you are following along this video. I did that and copy my image there. Yes. So the next thing I'm going to do is to work on the body very fast. Select the body to have a width of 100 view with it, and the height, a minimum height of 100 view with it. No, view height. Then I like the body to have a background image. Background image is going to be the image I have here, which is 6.jpg. Save that. They have the image. Then let us do some settings so that we only have one image that is covering the whole space. So background size is going to be 100, height then 100% with it. There we have it. Then the next thing we're going to work on is the container. We can do this to split this. So the container class is going to have a display of block, not block but flex. Yeah, let me just use block. Block is the right display. Then width is going to be 100% of the parent. The minimum height is going to be 100 height. So that we're also going to have an overlay because I'm going to use the white colors here. So you want a good contrast. So I'm going to give it a background color that is going to be translucent. So background color, we use black, but this black is going to be transparent. You can also make it a little bit gray. save it there, and then the next step is this drop down. For the drop down, shall give it a width of 80% of the parent. Then display of none. Then minimum height. You shall give it a minimum height of 100 view height. Then position absolute, so that instead of it should start with this next the next navigation, I mean the next element in the drop down menu should start at the same point. That's why we're using this position of absolute, or you can use fixed. Then I'm going to give it a background color of tomato. Save that. Then let's start working on the navbar. We shall come back to the drop down menu later. So the navbar should have a width of 100%. And a display of flex. Then justify content. We want space between the contents of the navbar. Save that. It's not saving because my keyboard is run out. Then next thing we're going to work on is the menu icon. For this menu icon to display some bars here, we're just going to create divs and give them a name of. We're going to create 3 of them. Save that. And the menu icon should have a display of flex. Then flex direction should be column. And then justify content. Space between, so that the bars are going to be in flex but in a column way, so that one bar, the other one, the other one, and there's going to be a space in between. Then we need to give it a width, so I'm going to give it a width of 30 pixels and a height of 20 pixels. Save that, and let's work on the bar. Bar is going to have a background color of white. Then a height of 2 pixels. Then a width of 100%. So if you save that, you should be able to see the bars now. Then let's go back to the navbar and give it a height of 70 pixels. Should also give it a border bottom so that we have a tiny line there. So border bottom is going to be 0.25 pixel and solid white. So then there we have it. So we want it to be faded or very thin. So if I say that there we have it, then we shall go back and work on this navigation bar. We shall work on the logo. So that logo, the logo, I'm going to directly start working on the paragraph inside the logo. I'll give it a color of tomato. Then give it a little bit white so that we have a contrast. And then font family, sans serif. Then font size, make it 35. Then font weight, make it bold. I save that. Let's see for some reason. It should be 35 pixel. So there I have my logo. Then I'm going to give the whole logo a margin. So margin is going to be top bottom is going to be 20 pixel. Then left right is going to be 30 pixel. I save that and have my logo there. Then let me reduce this to maybe 15 pixel because I think it's too much. And I can also reduce the font to 30. Then the next is the span design here. So that logo span, I want it to have a color of white. Save that. Then margin left of 40 pixel. But pixel is too much. Let me do 20. Then because I want this to have the whole logo to have the same font family, I can set my font family there. So there I have the logo. Then let's start working on the nav links. So after the logo, we work on the nav links. And I want to go straight to the UL by giving a display of flex. Then let's work on the nav links list elements li. First we are going to remove the dots. So list style is going to be none, and the margin, we're going to create a margin on the left. So margin left is going to be 160 pixels. So that, let me expand this. Then so that everything is aligned at the center, we need to do that on the navbar. So for the navbar, we are going to align items at the center. We save that and see they are aligned now. Then on a bigger screen, we don't need this icon. And before we do that, let's finish up working on the LI elements. So we are proceeding to the anchor links. So nav links, anchor links. We are going to make the color white. Then we are going to remove the underline by setting the text decoration to none. Like that. There they are. We can also make the font family to sans serif. There we have it. And the other thing we want now is to hide the icon menu, display none. And this is a screen. And the other thing is to push this so that I have some space here. So now links. I can say that the unordered list should have a margin right of 30 pixels. So there we have our navigation on a bigger screen. So the next thing we're going to do is to introduce the media queries. So we're going to say that at media, we want only the only screens on the screen and marks with it. We need a max with it of 900 pixels. That is where we want we need to break our screen to break. So at 900 pixels, we are going to hide the nav links. So that nav links, I'm going to set the display to none. So for the menu icon, we had set the display to flex. So we want to show the menu icon. So display flex. Save that. So you can see on our screen reduce, which is 100. We also need to work on the margin of the menu icon. The icon is here. So we can set the margin left, not left but right, to 30 px. Save that, and there we have our responsive navigation bar, but we now need the drop down menu. So as we've seen earlier in the introduction, the drop down menu was triggered when I clicked on this menu icon. So this is where our jQuery is going to come in, and we are going to write a very tiny code. So what we are going to work on first, we need the elements that we are going to manipulate. The first one here is going to be a drop down menu, so let's give it an ID. So I'm going to call it drop down menu. And the other element that we need is the menu icon. So I'm also going to give it an ID. Let me call it menu icon, or let me just call it menu. So save that. Then we shall now navigate to our JavaScript file. So we start working on the jQuery code. It's going to be very tiny. So first, document, get ready. When the document is ready, we need to create a function. So when the document is ready, we are going to create a function. And inside this function, we are going to grab the elements that we are going to work on. The first one is going to be the menu icon, because that is what we are going to click first. So $, put in brackets. We need an element with an ID. The ID is menu, so hashtag menu. Put it check again. Yeah, it's menu. So when you click on this, what do we want to happen? Create that functionality. So when you click on that, we grab the other element that we want to do the manipulations on. So $, an element with an ID of drop menu. Then what we want to do on that is to animate. And what we want to animate is the widget. So we shall animate when we toggle the widget, that is when we show and hide the widget. Toggle, it should be capital, double double G. Let's save that. Go to the browser. You see, it's working. So the only thing we need to work on next is the styling we are learning with jQuery. So we need to style this so that it looks neat. So we shall come to the drop menu and work on the URL list and order list. First, we want to align everything at the center, so text align center and display of block. Let's save that and see if it's actually here. And we want padding top of 70 pixels. You can make it 100 according to my screen. Then let's work on the list items. List style none first. Then margin bottom. Let's give it a margin bottom of 50 pixels. Then let's work on the anchor link. So to drop down, then anchor link. Let's give a color to it. Then text decoration to none. So if you save that, we have the links. You can also give the anchor links on the family. Option save. Yeah, must be displayed. If we enlarge the screen, there we have a big screen, no icon, small screen with an icon, big screen, the icon disappears. So that is it for this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you in the next video.